Welcome to the Real Salty Podcast. Please join Stephanie and Caitlin as we dive into life in Florida, the good, the salty, and everything in between. We'll chat about real estate, family, sports, building a community, and all the unique things that make living in the Sunshine State so special. Plus, we'll bring on some amazing special guests to share their stories and expertise along the way. So grab your favorite drink and get ready to laugh, learn, and get a little salty with us. And we're back. Here we are again. Let's see. What's the date today? We should probably all have this in our heads. January 20th, 2025.
It is.
Let's see. What's in the news today? Anything? I mean,
just a little bit. Just a national holiday.
National holiday.
To think of. A national inauguration.
Yeah. And, the TikTok community is back together. Thank God.
Actually, I was just going to say the biggest thing apparently is that our country almost lost precious TikTok.
Precious. And this is coming from Caitlin and I, and both of us are so bad at, well, first of all, TikToking. I think I called it TikTok last night, but we're so bad at it. Yeah. And we're bad at social too. I mean, just overall. But I will say there was a Caitlin sighting over the weekend on one of the friendly community pages that I scroll through. I said, oh, who are those fine lads at DeLosa's? And there I see in the back corner, my girl Caitlin and her boo trench. So cute.
When you're tall, they always make you stand in the back, right? It's like cheerleading commence now, like everyone in line. So I don't know what happened.
So you two were just toward the back. And I was like, oh. And then, of course, there are the comments underneath that were, I thought they were closed. I thought they weren't reopening. I thought all of these things. But so you had a little get together on Friday night.
It was an inadvertent get together, which is usually how us locals do it. It's like, where is everybody? On my way, be right there. So Friday night wound up in Johns Pass, started at the Bamboo Beach Bar. I had some awesome music going. And then we decided for dinner, we wanted to go to DeLosa's.
Getting all fancy.
Yeah, right. And keeping it classy. So if you can go to DeLosa's, and actually, if you find yourself wanting to eat in the bar area, I highly recommend. Now, the bar area, inadvertently to me, is kind of like the VIP area, though.
Totally.
Because the space itself doesn't allow for that many people, right? And who doesn't want to be in the cheers side? But there is a dining room side. Plenty of room to bring the family.
Is it different than it used to be?
It's not. It's the exact same layout. It's a little lighter, brighter color scheme inside.
So the grease is off the walls. But that's what made it so wonderful.
I did notice it didn't smell, and this is no knock. Okay, I realize DeLosa's Pizza is a whole nother echelon in the pizza world. So please do
it today.
Good people.
I get it.
Do not come for me on the socials, okay? But what I was about to say is when you used to walk into the old school Pizza Huts, tell me I'm wrong, that freaking red roof of a hat roof essentially kept all that steam and cooking and heat and fried inside, and it smelled a certain way.
Yeah, if I didn't have a salty pizza, I could have just licked it off the walls and been incredibly happy.
Exactly. You could do the Willy Wonka thing and just put it on your salad bar, right?
Love the way DeLosa smells.
Oh my God, the salad bar. I'd almost forgotten. But that's, you know what? Post-COVID, that is my one suggestion box. Let's bring back the salad bar. Come on, let's do it. But no, DeLosa's is just as you remember it. And I don't know if they've already, seasoned or casted the iron or the ovens or whatever, but it tastes the same. And
that's a good question, actually. I wonder if they have to do that.
I don't know, but they did it. They've done it again.
So it tastes the same.
Just as good as you remember.
It tasted the exact same. It was awesome. It was awesome. We tried to go there a week ago, their first night that they were open, and it was just like people were pouring out. And to your point, I want to sit at the bar and I want to be a VIP, and I was never going to be a VIP. So I was like, let's do a drive-by. Oh, good for them. We'll come back.
Yes. Well, we went in on Friday night. We were able to find 3 seats at the bar. Very serendipitous.
Yeah.
And it was funny because at a certain point, it was all locals. I mean, pre-storm, I would venture to say that on the bar side, the majority of the time, it is locals.
Yes.
That's where we are,
Yeah.
And so It was really good. There was a lot of friendly faces there, staff-wise. We got to see Brian the bartender. Shout out to him. I told him that we may or may not have already discussed his lovely name and his espresso martini.
That either made him incredibly nervous or, I don't know. Thanks for the publicity, I
it
guess.
was really loud in there. Thank God you put those closed captionings on it because I think he read it more than heard it. But I told him I'll share it to him. And so he's such a nice guy.
So nice.
But my precious martini machine is still on the fritz. The funny thing is, it's still sitting in the exact same spot it was, and just sits there and taunts me.
Yeah.
Right. So I will say this though, F the machine. Brian made me one by hand, and I don't know if he wants me to advertise that he can do that because I swear to God, it's kind of like ordering.
It takes a little while.
Working in the restaurant industry, when someone orders the fajitas, okay, and they bring the fajita out and the smoke trail goes by the rest of the tables, chances are the restaurant staff is willing to take bets that the next 10 tables that witness that somebody's going to order the fajitas. Okay, it's just one of those things. Sure enough, he pours me a martini, and I'm sitting there like happy as a clam. I almost took a picture, but I just grabbed the glass instead.
Right. Well, yeah, priorities here.
2 other women
ordered it.
One of those. I want one of those. And I looked at him and I was kind of like, nah, he hadn't done it, but hey, he did it with a smile.
Yeah.
I mean,
as a former very bad bartender, very, very bad bartender, that was always the fear, is that once you had some sort of drink that created a little bit of difficulty because of the amount of ingredients or the garnishing or the prep to make it go, is that once you unleashed one of them, it was going to be, what are they having? What are they having? But, if they get known for their espresso martinis beyond their pizza,
and hey,
it's good.
You know what? Again, not even saying that, again, Brian did it with a smile on his face. I am not trying to insinuate whatsoever that fact that he reluctantly made said martinis. Maybe the machine will get fixed faster.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it will.
This is the other important part I almost forgot. I pretty much got a verbal agreement that if I am a financial backer, that I will be allowed to engrave my name.
Nice.
And so he goes, yeah, we could probably put something maybe on the front towards the bottom. I was like, oh, you're talking out front and center. I'm talking like in the bottom right-hand corner, almost like
awesome.
like a maker's mark. I was like, I just want to know it's there. I don't need people to see that it's there.
No, you of course you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care about that.
But he did bring up a good point. We need to get stickers made for this beautiful podcast that we have.
Yeah.
Because he said, we'll put it on the front of the machine. Nice. We'll put it on the door. I'll put it in.
So great.
I mean, you just got to bring up his name one time.
I know. He's so great, though. I know, right? Yeah, we have questions for him, so we might need to be a guest at some point, because we do. We have questions about this, pizza making, the walls, and how they're going to bring that back. We have questions.
If I'm going to be investing in this restaurant touring,
if I'm going to be doing this for research on a weekly basis, there's going to be some questions that are involved, and I'm going to need some answers, and I need a little bit of collateral out of this.
And trust me, it's going to be completely out the box questions that have nothing to do with actual restaurant investment, but I need my answers. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even.
We can't move forward. That's what people love. They love Delosas. It's awesome.
The people want their people demand the answers. Exactly. In the meantime, we'll sip our martinis and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I did the pizza thing too, but kind of at the opening end of Madeira Beach, as Michael and I met my parents out on Friday night at S2E3.From. And S2E3.From has been an incredible resource, as well as incredibly gracious through all of the last few months. And their Madeira Beach location, not only is it gorgeous, whether you're inside or outside, I mean, the views are spectacular, especially for like a sunset view, but it's still a little chilly. So we were inside. Well, if you're not a Floridian, it wasn't chilly, so you sat outside, but we are. So we sat inside, and we met my parents there, but we were talking to the waitress, and I mean, IRB, they had a location there, and they're not reopening. That one is closed. Yeah, which is unfortunate. And then on the St. Pete one, I believe that they're ready to reopen, but it's January. So is it the smartest thing to do as a business owner, or just kind of wait till there's some more?
Gotcha.
When you know that there's going to be some more traffic, it's literally right along like that main drag in St. Pete. So there's not a lot of beach goers right now, not only because of the weather, but just the time of year. January is always the slowest time. But they have absorbed all of the staff there, almost like 90% of the staff, the managers, and they made some, they had to make some tough decisions, as every business does,
Right.
as they, decide to make decisions. But they have absorbed a lot of it, and they just the waitress was so nice, and we had we don't go out to eat with my parents all the time, except for like occasions and stuff like that. But we went, and they come over on Sunday nights, but. So we went out, and oh my gosh, we had so many laughs, and it was just so nice. But so both of us were on the pizza bookends.
Say we had to get our pizza fix. Apparently,
we did. Yeah, we were down. I was down at John's Pass today and had a slice of pizza, and it's just good for them. Delicious to be back open, so that's exciting. So that's super exciting. It's super exciting. But
I love it. I love it. You know what they could do though? My one suggestion is we got the same amount of televisions, which I don't want to draw to the good. I think it's the same amount of televisions. They didn't have that many. And again, that's not a very big
they need a little bit
area.
More. I know. I wonder if they don't have any outside, do they? That would be nice if they did.
Yes.
They could do that.
But if we can think about the fact that that is a street with traffic, and how many times do people just stand there, though, thinking that it's a pavilion?
They do.
So if we put a TV out there, and this is me looking at it, I guess, from like a community planning brain. Why? I don't know why, but I'm just like there's not enough lawyers anyway.
They need like a, you know what they need is like a courtyard, like what Saltwater Hippie has, where it's like this secret little
garden
backside.
Yes.
That would be really cool too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you know what we should do? We should take this directly to the top,
We should. Brian?
Take it to the top, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if there's next time we're there, check to see if there's a Q&A box so we can just put and we'll just put love.
Funny thing is, we'll just put our bar napkins stained with espresso martinis in the.
Yeah. And we'll sign it RSP.
Love you.
Yeah. Heart RSP. Questions for the peanut gallery.
With whom it may
Questions for the pizza gallery. Yeah. We have all these questions.
We've agreed. We need to go straight to the top. So I should have thought about this because I'm pretty sure the owner was in the photo. He was in the front.
Yeah, Jimmy was in it.
Jimmy was in it.
Yeah, I was
going to say he was in it. There was another local business owner, Amy and Jeff from Water Sports in John's Pass. They are working hard to get back up and running. What's amazing too is that, guys, they are the ones that bought, in my mind, the historical hat shop.
They
now,
did.
Strike me down, Stephanie.
They did.
I know that we're going to talk.
I don't know, 70 years. I'm probably totally exaggerating, but it was a long time, like a really long time.
A generation at the very least.
Yeah.
Because I just remember that always having that type of presence in that particular shop area along Village Boulevard, right?
Yes.
And so we're going to talk more about Miss Amy and Mr. Jeff's business because I'm sure they're going to be one of the ones that we keep a close eye on to know when they're going to be back up.
They haven't do they have a date yet as to when they're going to reopen?
The fact that apparently my conversations were commandeered on the fact of espresso martinis, I insensitively didn't ask that question. But that information I don't think was offered to me. It's just that we're working hard and we're gonna be back soon, very, very soon.
Okay.
So yeah.
They probably would have announced it. Jeff has been really awesome about posting in Madeira Beach the businesses that have been opened back up, which I think is just, I just love that he did that. I just took that on,
I know.
Went with it, and has been really, really great about it. So yeah, I hope they get back up and running. There's all that little strip right there. I mean, Wild Style got back open, but it's like all of those in a row. Well, Hubbard's had a little place there. Salty Sisters. Yeah, that the ice there was another shop. Like jewelry shop that there was a little. I think there was a little jewelry shop because I'm pretty sure that Flynn and I bought some stuff there.
Yep.
And the Easy Water Sports, and then
I was just thinking the sunglass store that was there, which again was another footprint in my memory lane. That has been a sunglass store for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, the sign was just as old as can be, but also retro classic and almost historical at that point.
But it was different because unlike walking in at all the other surf style shops, right? And trust me, I am the girl that normally buys the $10 gas station sunglasses because I am rough as heck on my sunglasses and I just don't deserve nice things when it comes to that.
Well,
Trust me.
I like to say that you like to vintage shop.
I thank you. I
You look
agree.
for style more than you look
Yeah.
for price, or I mean, you're not working for a Birkin. You're
No.
looking for all these different like deals.
How many times have people asked me where I got something? I'm like, Sam's Club.
Yeah. Walgreens.
And they're like, nobody talked to her for a while. The Walgreens. Yeah, the Walgreens seasonal aisle, like not even there all the time. And I found it
I
the one
know.
Sunday to Sunday in June of 2022, and it's been in my closet ever since. So
Well, as we learned earlier, my only answer is it's in the cart. So, I mean, that's pretty much I'm
So
so
speaking, I know we're jumping really like fast here, but I love this because this reminds me why we do this.
yes.
So really quickly, speaking of Sam's Club carts,
I was there
this
today. Well,
morning
I didn't go in because I hate it. So I sit in the parking lot while Michael goes in.
Trent logged into the Sam's Club account today just to order the staples, in which why we keep said Sam's Club membership: toilet paper, paper
Yeah.
towel, dishwashing detergent, and laundry pods. I swear to God, it's worth every dollar if that's the only thing
Yeah.
you
My
ever buy
sister-in-law
from
says the
Sam's
same
Club, right?
thing. Yeah.
So he goes in there to do the normal adulting things, and he finds $312 worth of women's clothing
He likes
in our
Trio.
cart. And I just never did went all the way through with it. And so I got hollered at before I ran out the door today. And it was like, "Do you actually want all these things?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Are these the right sizes?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like,
You're like,
"Done." And
sizes? You're like, I
no,
didn't
I
know
picked them
toilet
all out.
paper came in
I picked
sizes. Oh,
I picked I picked
I thought you were going to say
all
you
the
didn't know they were
clothes.
in the cart still.
No, so $312 worth of
Oh my
women's
God. We
clothes from
cannot
Sam's
wait to
Club.
see Sam's Club wardrobe.
Stay tuned.
I
So,
mean, this is
yeah.
like suspenseful right now.
No, it's really not that exciting. It's a couple pairs of leisure pants and who am I? What year is
Well,
it?
remember your 2025, Caitlin. It might be a good thing. You like new
Leisure.
clothes.
Who says leisure pants was the point? Like,
Yeah, and I didn't even catch on to that, except for I was trying to envision what leisure pants look like, other than like yoga pants or
what real people call it? Activewear.
yes, not
What?
Caitlin, it's leisure
What?
wear.
What great aunt just possessed my body and
I
said
think it's
leisure?
actually Mr.
Right. Okay.
Maybe you're Chrissy.
Maybe
Maybe you're gonna
the
come
whole
next week.
time.
You're gonna have pigtails in.
Don't tempt the people.
Yeah,
I get the weirdest comments when I do that. It's so weird. It's either a baby spice or then we get talking about anime and I don't want to. No,
yeah.
we're not
Nope,
doing
not
it.
gonna go there. So, what did you do this weekend otherwise? What else was new? Anything fun for you?
Girl, you we were watching football this weekend. Come on now.
We were the
Like
whole weekend.
the best 8 teams in the league. I was in
It
heaven.
was so good.
I don't know how I'm going to even say this, but I'm like, can we please just start the games at 10:30?
And
Let's act like we're not all excited still already.
I know.
But
Yeah,
this is
Sunday
also
was like, what time is the game at? What time is the game at? Yeah, yeah. So
and honestly,
this
this is
weekend is like the
purely
best weekend. I think it's the best weekend in
yes.
football.
Oh my God. So I know my household was excited because my precious Chiefs are
Yes.
continuing on our journey, much to the dismay of pretty much everyone else in the country.
It was expected, so I think it was kind of
Yes.
uneventful.
Well, and
Just
haters are gonna
expected, so it's
hate.
uneventful, so it's fine.
And you know what, generation wise, this is to me what the Patriots must have felt like,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
In
Yep. Yep. During their dynasty.
although, can we all agree, please, that Andy Reid is a saint and
Yeah.
Pat Belichick there's a special place for that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
But Bill Belichick,
or Bill Belichick.
yeah.
Wow, why is that?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all right. I didn't hear it or I didn't notice, but yeah, I mean, he's done a good job like this year moving over to like, I don't know, he was on last Monday, he was on that Peyton and Eli Manning cast. And
Okay.
Peyton and Bill they do a show together. So you could tell they just have a really good relationship, mutual
Okay.
respect. And Eli does too, but Eli's just kind of goofy and he doesn't stop talking on the show. And it's so
He's
funny
like
though.
Travis.
Yeah,
He's the
exactly.
Travis.
Yeah. He just keeps talking. They showed, I don't even remember what teams were playing. I think it was when the special teams coach was so excited and was running down the field.
Yes.
And
which we're
there's
gonna talk about
100
special
memes about
teams.
it, but yeah, he was
We gotta talk
running.
about that special teams coach
Yeah,
about what happened.
oh yeah, So he was running down the field, and Eli was like, "So, Bill, did you ever pull a hammy running down that field?" And he was, and I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm like, is he really asking him this? And Bill's like, "No, I don't think I ever ran fast enough to pull a hammy." It was so hysterical. But yeah, so that was the week before. But yeah, Bill
Well,
Belichick,
see,
it must have been just like the dynasty of that. Yeah.
well, and like I said, we can get back on the players at hand, the actual,
Yes.
people that are playing now. But my last comment about Bill Belichick is that makes me happy that when he apparently has rapport with somebody, that he can shift out of the Ferris
Interview
Bueller
stage.
teacher voice,
Yes.
because he was an analyst on one show or another that I was watching. And granted, I'm not being disrespectful in the fact that the man doesn't have the football things, all the
Hmm.
dots, on all
Hmm.
cylinders, and he can see things that other people can't see and all the stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. But to listen to him, they asked him to break down a play or something like
Yeah.
that, which is not abnormal on those analyst
No,
shows
it's
for them to
not.
look into these abnormal plays. This man went on about this play in this manner when the man came around the corner. But see, when they didn't do this, it was like watching paint
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah.
It was painful. I didn't know. I'm like, oh my God, who's paying him money? Like, tell me this
Yes.
is still like the pledge class
Yeah. He didn't have
episode.
any jive to him.
Ooh,
Wasn't
and so
entertaining at all.
maybe get him on something that he has a rapport with somebody, and maybe he'll break out of his shell. Like, what's that commercial that has that head coach where they show up to the Airbnb at like 2:55 and he's like, check-in's 3, and they're like, yeah, it's 2:55, and he's like, we'll wait. And then he's like, there's a nice barbecue grill outside. Don't touch that. Showers are limited to 5 minutes. This isn't a spa.
That's him.
And they're like, is this what he's doing now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So, but anyway, your
the
Chiefs
Chiefs,
won.
okay? I know that there's been a lot of chatter specifically about favoritism and luck and all the things that you have with the referees with
Yes.
Kansas City. I think that immediately following the game, some of the Houston Texans and players and coach pretty much beyond insinuation in their, what's it called, press
Yeah. The press conference
thing
afterward. Yeah.
afterwards. They said something along the lines of, well, everyone knows what it's like to play here, meaning that
Like that it was already staged.
that it's rigged,
Yeah.
that it's this and that. And I'm like, well, again,
Haters gonna hate.
I'm not going to say that there's not a single team in the league that hasn't benefited from a lucky call
Yes, of
all
course.
year.
And I always hope
Okay.
that it gets
And
course corrected. Like, okay, we missed that call,
we
but we
hope that it
did on something else.
shakes out.
Yeah.
Correct. And until they truly hand over, because now they have like this time they're allowed to rewatch the replay, but on these kind of plays, the refs aren't allowed to stop it to do it. Any
Yeah.
scoring touchdown, they can do that from, the wizard behind the curtain in New York or wherever the hell. But on this kind of play, they can't do that until they truly turn it over to where all those 360-degree lasers that are already pointed at these guys matter.
And now with the 7 guys on the
This
field.
is what's going to happen because it all comes down to human error.
Yeah.
Does it not? Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I do think that I think that the Chiefs have figured out a way, and this is not even being disrespectful, but how to use that to their advantage too. Like where Mahomes is so good that he'll go ahead and throw something if he already knows that something happened.
Exactly.
That's where he's
free play.
even the other day when
Free play.
he threw the ball as he was falling. And Kelsey caught it. I'm sure if he thought, I'm going to throw this, I'm going to get roughing the passer, and we're just going to get it down. But instead, it was overruled because, of course, Kelsey was waiting for it. He's been playing with them. They're one of the best. They'll go down in history as one of the best duos that are ever out there. And so they're just in sync. I mean, I think even Kelsey looked down at the guy that had fallen like, you idiot. What did you just do? Why did you fall? Like, what's going on?
Okay. And can I just say, like, I have watched that over and over
it's so
and
funny.
over because it looks taunting. Okay. It looks
a little
taunting,
bit. He's kind of like,
but the beautiful thing is the kid just fell at his feet.
He fell at his feet.
And he just happened to catch the ball flat-footed.
Yes.
She's just standing there and catches
Yeah.
it and just continues to stand there like the gymnast that just landed her 7th flip
Yeah.
off the beam.
Yes.
He just stands
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And to me,
Yes.
I'm sorry, but it's beautiful.
Yes,
And
it
it's
is.
hilarious. And anyway, before we could, there's plenty of other football to talk about, but obviously I am fangirling out from all of the places. And I am very excited that we're continuing the journey. I am always nervous when we play the Bills.
Yeah.
But
Understandably.
at least we get to play in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Because it was this close to where if they would have clinched the division, we would have had to go to Buffalo. And I'm sorry, but your guys' weather sucks.
Yeah, it does
So
sting.
no,
It does.
it
Yeah,
does. It
that
sucks.
is bad. Yeah.
But in other news, let's also talk about the fact that those Bills and Ravens game, how about that, man?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It was like, which quarterback has gone to the playoffs more time and made it through less of them?
Yeah. It was just a, comedy of it. It was just, if you can eliminate some of the small errors, like you just don't have any room for any errors. And I know that, Lamar made a couple of them and one of them didn't end up cost anything. The other one costed a field goal. And then, they've got Andrews that had a couple.
Yeah.
And he's been flawless the whole year. It's been flawless.
Oh,
but
strike me down though, but the very first passing play that Lamar threw, it was a straight line to, who was that? Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
And he had it.
Yes.
And it's so
a couple
cold.
times he had
it just
exactly
bounced right out of his
Yeah,
hand.
you saw that
And
happen a couple times.
It was close to like a 20-yard gain. It definitely was a first down. And it was just one of those like, ooh, you need to make that a one and done.
Yeah.
But that football is slicker than snot.
It is.
I mean,
In that weather, are you kidding?
Oh my God. It's like trying to drive. Like, no.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, well, we were on Saturday night, we have one of our employees that's been working for us for 4 years or so, just about 4 years, and he's moving up to South Carolina or North Carolina to be with his mom. And so
the Carolinas. We'll just say the Carolinas. Yeah.
It's a Carolinas. And so he's over there. So Michael had a group of them come over that work for us or had worked for us. And they were doing bourbon testing. So Michael bought all these, they're doing this bourbon testing, which was fun. So one of them, unfortunately, was a Lions fan. And Michael is obviously a huge Commanders fan. And so it was, there's no way. We're still like, the fact that they've won now 2 games in the playoffs is unbelievable. But we were sitting there looking at each other like, is this really happening? Oh my gosh. Like, this is really happening.
Oh my God, they might win.
Yeah. So, it was almost like we had to like muffle our excitement in a lot of way. And we were so excited.
Polite.
We were being, and, and even the gentleman even said to us, like, it's not your fault. You're not doing anything. It is what it is. But, everyone felt like it was the Lions' year.
Well, and I think encouraged by a bourbon tasting and the fact that it's my house.
Yes.
Kudos to Michael, because I would have been like, protect this house. This is what we bring forward. Get some. Like, sorry, I just went.
Yeah. Gangster on us.
The car dealership blow up on everyone.
Yes, you were. You did.
And then I would have to apologize respectfully. But then, no, there would be no controlling the joy.
It was overwhelming. Michael couldn't sleep. He got up the next morning and watched the whole game over again. He's so excited. He's so excited, and I love it for him. I just love it for him. But yeah, so it was a fun weekend.
Here's what I'll say about that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. They're both kind of Cinderella stories that you wanted to see both of them go further.
You did.
Unfortunately,
and everyone talked about that being the Lions' year, right? No one knows whose year it is.
It could only be one. And I think that truly Cinderella-y, underdog, if you will, everyone just kind of, put that on the Commanders.
Yes. Yeah.
But the poor people of Detroit.
I know.
1957 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time.
It's a long time. And then I know what it's also like to be in the stadium. That's the other thing. Whenever it's a home game, And
It's
I know that
hard. Yeah,
I
when
know
you're
from our
watching
last
the fans, it wasn't good.
the commanders were, they showed up, they showed out, they're traveling, they're spending their children's
Right.
inheritances. This is it, man. This
Yeah,
is
the
what
tickets
we're
were
doing.
like Taylor Swift prices.
But yeah, I think that wasn't it you that was it you that told me that that particular game was the
Yeah.
highest
Yeah.
selling or price
Yeah.
championship game in like NFL
Yeah.
history?
Yeah, I mean, at
And that,
Taylor Swift, at least you like who you're going to see. I mean, there's no winner. You like every song. She does
well, and let's
like
be
87
clear,
songs. How are you not happy? But you could go there and
you have
just
to, you have to go to one
lose
of
your
our games to
child's
see her
college fund just for it. For what? For a loss? No, that's not going to happen.
get
No.
it. But I get what it's like walking. I guess what I'm trying to say is I get what it's like walking out of that stadium and the home stadium and everyone,
Yes.
it's electric and all the things. And,
And who would have
it's,
thought? I mean, no one really, I mean, maybe they didn't prepare themselves enough. I don't know. Like, I mean, Adina Kimball
well,
was
and of
pretty
course,
upset about it
that's
afterward.
another topic of conversation. So let's talk about the fact that the Lions and the Chiefs were the only ones that had the double bye, right? So some of those players, and I know the Lions have been riddled with injuries and things like that, but that was a topic of a lot of the lead up of the sportscasters talking about these two games was the fact of, what did they say? Rest or rust,
Yes.
I think was the cute little term that they used. And is it a good thing? Is it a
Yeah.
bad thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows?
And they brought up a good point too. The Detroit Lions, they've been together now, a lot of the core players for a couple of years now. However, the core players on our team have been together over a decade.
Yeah.
And we might specifically be talking about Patrick and Travis.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Chris Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the ones that they don't always get the headlines, but they're
So,
super important.
well, and Chris Jones, I mean, he's a refrigerator with legs. He's one of the best, I think, defensive ends in the league. But what I'm getting at is when you can brush the dust off, if you will, after that rest period and not become rusty necessarily, because it's like riding a bike again. It's these people that it's the people that, you fall right back into it. And maybe that was something to do with Detroit. I don't know.
Well,
I feel bad.
here's another point that Michael brought up, and I thought that was interesting. So, and, even all of these coaches, once the regular season ends, some of these other coaches that might be ready to move on to the head coaching position start getting poached.
Yes.
And Michael had said, like, I kind of like this idea too, is that like that almost needs to not happen until like the season's over, like Super Bowl's
Totally
over.
done.
Because here's the thing is that, so today, hence the reason I'm wearing my Bears shirt, Ben Johnson was announced to be the new head coach of the Bears, who is the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. But you can't tell me he just talked to him today. So was that a distraction last week? Instead of getting his team prepared for the matchup on Saturday, the battle, the matchup, moving on, was that possibly a distraction that was just not needed on the team?
Even if it wasn't, but even if, right, on the team, okay? Because, my brain goes to, even if that man kept it on the DL and it didn't affect his mindset, it gets word spreads into the players of someone leaving, and somehow it still instills doubt.
Yeah. I mean, did he interview yesterday? I mean, he would have had to interview. I mean, it would have been that he had to interview last week. I mean, I highly doubt he would have interviewed yesterday. No one after a loss like that would say, yeah, I'm ready for an interview. This is going to be great. I'm going to really put my best foot forward. And did he interview today? It wouldn't even have mattered. Like, he would have needed to go through multiple interviews.
That's what I was about to say. I would hope and venture possibly that this would be like an executive hiring, and the fact that you get to talk to the temp, right? The recruiter that found you, the recruiter that found you, and then you get to meet with the office people, and then you get to meet with the ownership, and then you get to meet
Zoom.
the coach.
Yeah,
correct, exactly.
In person,
and we're going to fly.
And so there's
out.
something.
There's going to be receipts. Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't know. There's some truth to that needing to stop as well, I think. So, but nonetheless, my house is very, very happy.
I was going to say, I'm sure your house is very, very happy. And I'm actually very happy for the Commanders fan base. I wish that both teams were able to not have to go through each other so that they could play in the dance.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know I'm partial to, you're not going to finish it, but
Yeah.
we'll allow you to play long.
Right.
The other team I want to talk about, which has had multiple frequent Super Bowl visits, I feel like in the last, we'll say 5-year tenor, is going to be the Eagles. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I know they're not the most popular fans
They're
on the
not.
block. Holy Mary.
Not at all.
But they
They're
obviously
loyal.
have a team, yes,
They're
that
loyal.
is doing things, and they're very loyal. And they beat the Rams,
They
which,
did.
right? Okay, I almost had a moment. I really wanted the Rams to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not only for the fact that, God bless you, Philadelphia, but you gotta check your fan base. You gotta figure it out. Stay classy,
Yeah, that's
Philadelphia,
not
but
necessarily
it's
top 5
not.
traits.
No, it's not.
No.
So with that being said,
And it didn't
I'm
help
not
that the
saying
weather was so bad too. I mean,
it's horrible.
yeah, poor LA trying to play in that horrible weather. I mean, that's kind of what beat them at the end is the weather, unfortunately, because it went from, kind of a run game. It went from a, throwing game to a run game pretty quickly because of the weather.
It did. It
Yeah.
escalated.
But yeah, so
Obviously, for the LA area that's immediately being affected by these wildfires, right? These national disaster level, like destruction,
yes,
that is the complete antithesis of the type of destruction we saw. And I mean, I hate to sound like Captain Planet, but it's like fire, water, you know? So
yeah,
it's a whole nother thing, but at the same time, it still involves displaced
it
people,
does.
destroying of property, memories, all the things.
Total destruction. Just nothing but ashes.
Well, and let's talk about well, we don't have to get really into it, but at least we know that hurricane's coming and it's gone.
Yes. No, that's right.
And gone.
No, it's gone.
It's gone. And it's still burning. So our thoughts and prayers are with the good people of California. Of course, anybody that goes through something similar like that, I feel like this is one of the first times since that I am a whole nother level of cognizant with the fact that that's going
How
on.
It feels.
And where the people are that are affected by that. Correct. Correct.
And it totally, and you don't even, I think that the hard part is that so there's a whole level that everyone was impacted here, but then and we understand what that level is, living it, being around it, listening to stories, whatever it might be, it's still going on. It's still going to take some time, but then you knock it up a notch. I mean, and I think it is knocked up a notch because
it is.
I don't even, there's nothing left of some of these. I mean, there's barely even the land left. I mean, once the rain comes, there could be not even the land left it's so sad. It's even hard to even comprehend because I'm like, I can't go back to that sad place.
You watch that one particular gentleman, which I'm sure were countless stories where the fastness, right? The quickness in which this is going and the fact that they cannot guarantee the affected areas. That's another thing different. Like, yes, can they pinpoint where this hurricane's going to make landfall?
Yeah.
No. Do we know after a certain point, though, that it's our side and it's our area and prepare regardless? Yes.
We
know when it's going to
12 hours in advance.
We know when it's going to stop. Imagine going to work, not thinking that you're in an area that's affected. And by the time you're warned, you go back and you are not allowed.
No, you're not allowed back.
To go back to your home. And I left my jog there at 9:30 this morning.
Yes.
Like that particular gentleman that they had to stop him and tell him it wasn't safe to go. And he was on the national news and crying, and his 2 dogs wound up surviving.
Yeah, surviving. That was so sweet.
Beautiful. They found them separate separate times. But it's just like, can I imagine coming into office today and then all of a sudden being like, oh, by the way, your house is about to catch fire. And I'm like, oh, my dog.
Yeah.
And I have to go home. And somebody is physically restraining me on 129th.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Oh.
Not at all. I mean, it's the whole thing is just unbelievable. But yeah, so it's kind of unfortunate because I think that maybe that, the LA Rams would have been giving just a little bit of hope or just something to look forward to watching, right? Like just something to gather and hang out and be a part of. So that part is unfortunate, but we love us some
I feel like that team, though, is going to go back and they are going to hit the boots on the ground running.
Yeah.
They're going to give back to that community. They've already been organizing and donating and everything like that. So Yeah. I mean, prayers for LA.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool that the coach wore LAFD for the fire
Yeah, I do
department.
too. I do too.
I
I
thought that
loved
was
that.
really cool. It kind of gave me 9/11 vibes.
Totally.
I don't know why I just said that,
No,
but
it
do you
did
remember
because of
when
the ash.
everyone was wearing
PD.
NYFD and
Mhm.
NYPD
Mhm.
and all
Yeah.
the I mean,
No, you're right. They were, especially
for
like at that Yankee
years,
game.
like
Yeah. Yeah,
ever.
for the
Yeah.
Yankee game after that. Yeah, that was
Well, then Saturday Night Live and like everything
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
anyway, it's easy for us to go on
yeah.
a tangent about that, but we love us some
So
football.
the Eagles are still in it, and we can hope that
Eagles, Commanders, and then the Bills and the Chiefs. So super
can you guys
exciting.
just go can you just tell Michael to go ahead and this is the one that okay, now we're all behind you. You need to take them out.
Well, I think that that's probably true. And I think that it's like, wait, what? How are we possibly still in it? Like when you think of some of the greats that still have only won one Super Bowl or only, I mean, Michael was listing like every team today that is out. And I'm like, it's
God bless
unbelievable.
it.
I know. And he's wearing his Commander's jersey and he's going to wear it the entire week. So yeah.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
so what are you gonna
Lucky
wash it?
me.
Is it like the child with the safety
It
blanket where
is.
you're gonna have to wash it,
Yeah.
like pry it from his dead
Yeah.
hands when he's asleep
It's what I said to
and
him yesterday.
it?
Can I just maybe wash it so it's not walking by itself by the
Let
end
me
of the
just
week?
let me just get this. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, trust if we have company coming over, we're washing. And he's like,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's super and you know, I have been with Michael, as I've mentioned before, forever, like since 1998. Like obviously just a few short years. And he has never had a team that has been winning. And so he's actually encouraged and or welcomed all of us to like other teams because in a lot of ways he couldn't blame us. He could not blame us. It would always get to like probably like week 1 or 2 of October that he'd be like, forget it. Which team should I root for now? Because he was just so over.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, that makes my heart so happy for him.
Too.
And ultimately, like, we're going to have to destroy them. But I just kidding.
Well, if we can, and I don't even think Michael would care as long as we got to that point. I mean, if he got to the Super Bowl,
But
he'd be like, whatever, we got to the Super Bowl. This is amazing.
I mean, it would still be amazing because to see Daniels and Mahomes, let's see it, man. Because I feel like it's going to be like and I'm not even a huge Harry Potter fan, but I feel like it's going to be magical.
It is.
Like
It would be.
God, these guys are like capable of doing
Mm.
the unimaginable
I
and just
know.
like pulling something like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like out of their whatevers. Like, come
I
on.
know. I know.
It's gonna be fantastic.
You know what phrase I said maybe 300 times this weekend? And I never and it's been around only for 5 or 6 years. I looked it up because I was like, when did this phrase come around? Was tush push.
Push, push.
That is like I mean, I get it, but it's so
Get it.
funny. Like it's so funny.
Get
I was
it.
like, they're like, they're gonna do the tush push. And I was like, wait, is this like a technical, like legit word? And like I looked it up and I was like,
Just we're just making up funny things
yeah.
now.
It was like, I guess it was introduced in 2018 by the Eagles and they mastered it.
By
And
the
so
Eagles. I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah,
it was the Eagles and
yeah,
it
it's
was
like
Jason
they're an
Kelce.
expert of the tush push. So, hey, you know, just when things start getting a little boring, we start introducing tush push.
Well, and speaking of viral videos earlier, even though we are not connoisseurs of the TikTok ourselves,
Only for scrolling.
how many times though have oh my God. I just had a complete brain fart. What were we did the TikTok
Yeah,
joke.
the
What
push
were we
tush.
talking about before that? The push tush. Okay. So the thing to me is that have you seen those viral videos where the women who are kind of being funny, but the voiceover is clips from these sexual innuendo sportscasters where it's like that guy came right in his face and the women are like reading a book or something and like it's just
She's like,
fun innuendo backers
that's
like that guy was
hysterical.
all up in that hole. That's the biggest
That's
hole I've
funny.
ever seen.
My
And like
TikTok doesn't do that yet.
they take all these inappropriate basically
Totally
comments
makes
and from these
sense.
commentators and they put them together and these women are having these like,
Maybe I do
kind of
like the sport.
like yeah, but it's like
That's
all down
hysterical.
his face, coming in his rear. And they're like, what am I
What is
talking
going
about?
on?
Yeah.
That's
So,
hysterical.
but anyway, we're happy
We
though
could talk all
because
day long.
we can talk all day long about football. So if we have to, are we daring to make, I'm not necessarily going to say predictions, because my predictions of who would probably win are not going to be the same of my strategery,
Yes.
which I'm well aware that's not a real world, of who I would rather play to win, meaning the Chiefs.
Yeah, I understand that. You're making, because it's a matter of making predictions and then also like who you want, right? Like, because that's
honestly,
different. Like if you were logging into your Hard Rock betting system because it's now legal in Florida and you could do that, like who would you?
That's the only one you can.
That's
don't
the
even
only
try to
one.
think about playing FanDuel,
No,
right?
don't do that. Can't do that.
Absolutely
like, who
not.
would you? I don't know. I mean, I would say it's probably going to be Eagles Chiefs.
Honestly, prediction wise, I think it's going to be Eagles Chiefs. However,
you want to see the Bills.
Want it to be. How did you know? No, I was kidding.
It came out.
The secret's out. I'm in love with Josh Allen. No. Okay. The thing is, I want it to be the Chiefs and Commanders. But then I also,
you know what? It's so hard as being a sideline fan of the Commanders for so long. And it's just so hard to even imagine that. Like, I took a picture of it on TV last night because I was like, how is this even possible? They're like listed as one of the 4. Like, how is this even possible?
You know what you need to do, even though print is dead? You need to figure out how to get your hands on all of the Sunday posts that have come out in, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in, and get your hands on those, because print is dead. I understand.
Right, but still, it's cool.
Like my father, but it still would be cool to like frame them and like make it for Michael in case that's the only one he ever has. Just say.
Yeah.
It was, see, Michael, I'm looking out for you.
You are. Yeah.
Go by what is it? The Sunday Post? What's
Tampa
it called?
Bay Times, maybe, or USA Today, or New York Times.
You gotta go to the city and
Washington
get their
Post.
public. There you go.
Yeah.
You got to go to get the front page of the Washington Post, because
I think that will be on the front page of the inauguration.
The freaking team. 100%.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When the paper's folded in half in the Washington Post, I think the front one's going to be about the Commanders. And then when you unfold the bottom of the page, that'll be about probably the inauguration.
Yeah, probably.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
In their city?
Yeah. I mean, and then like a quarter of it will be about Tic Tac.
About the Tic Tac.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
About the Tuk Tok.
Yes.
Right. The Toki Tok.
Whatever it is. Whatever it is that I go on, maybe.
Bad news is we might actually have to learn this thing now, Stephanie.
We might. Or just post and see what happens.
And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. We had another topic to cover tonight, but
we talked
about football
for so long.
Almost an hour.
We did.
And I have no regrets.
Me neither. It's just too exciting. I mean, okay.
Absolutely not.
Real estate, buy a house. Real estate, sell your house. Real estate, call us.
When they're, exactly. When there's a seller willing to sell and a buyer willing to buy,
we're the experts, and if we're not, we'll figure it out. Yeah. If we don't know what we're talking about, we'll find out and we'll talk to the proper authorities. There, we're done. We did it. It's more real.
Exactly. We covered it. Hey, this means we can write it off, right?
Hey, maybe we could write off our Super Bowl tickets. We could drive to New Orleans. Party bus to New Orleans.
I think we should.
My middle child's girlfriend was trying to list all the things that Michael should be.
You're not going to be able to stop Michael.
No. That's exactly it.
Right?
She was like trying to figure out things he could sell last night to make it.
You know what you actually need to figure out right now is you actually need to figure out what second, third mother cousin you have that lives in New Orleans, honey.
Yes.
You need to figure out who has somebody that lives there that could have a couch for Michael.
Well, there's a lot of people in the underground there. I'm sure we could just pop a tent and Michael would be happy. There's a lot of
Commander people?
I'm sure. Actually, that's actually true. After being at the Tampa Bay Stadium for a Commanders
I was like,
game.
wait, is that what you guys call your fan base, is the underground? No. What is that? What do you
No, after being at the Tampa Bay Stadium and witnessing the high school reunion vibe that they had, that pretty much was just like 21 years, but we'll just call it 25 because that's a better number. 25 years of, we haven't seen these people in 25 years, which they never knew those people 25 years ago. But hasn't everyone been to a high school reunion where you don't remember the person, but you act like you do because maybe you sat next to them in math class? And not only did you sit next to a math class, you looked at their freaking answers and tried to pass math class. So you just hug them like you know them and you love them, and they helped you through all these.
That's so good to see.
Yes.
You.
It was so cute. We were on the home side, and we inadvertently walked in the wrong area. So we went by the pirate ship, and then we walked over to the visitor side. And when you walked over to the visitor side, it was like, whoa, what is going on? It was like a bus stop in Grand Central Station of all Commander fans. It was awesome. Michael was hugging everyone, as we talked about last week, but it's hard to not root for them.
All you have to do is have AI write him a really nice letter about, my name is Michael and I've been a Commanders fan for being that. I would love the opportunity to stay with fellow Commanders people. Obviously have that like touched up with ChatGPT, and then just literally somehow put it out on the local Facebook groups now.
Yeah.
Now.
That would be a good idea.
Because I'm telling you, every Airbnb is already bibbity booked.
Yes,
we
it's
already
all
know
booked.
the Super Bowl is going to be there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
no, that
right?
doesn't matter. It's
doesn't matter
right.
what team is going.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's actually not that far to drive from here. It's only 10 hours.
It's not. Trent and I drove there to buy a boat. Yeah. Well, actually, it was right on the Louisiana, Mississippi.
We could actually just go across, because it's now the Gulf of America.
As the crow flies, that's what I hear.
Yep.
Yeah.
According to today, it was supposed to be one of the more than 50 bills of passage that were written. My hand is going to be so tired from the executive orders that I take today, and one of them is going to be the Gulf of America. So,
the funny thing is, I'm sitting in my chair right now, and I can actually look out the window and
see the Gulf of America
right now.
Let's actually say it so much that people are like, "What is wrong with them?" Gulf of America.
You know what? You know what's funny? Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Let's screw it. Let's do it.
Let's just embrace our new hit.
You know what? I'm going to jump one step ahead of you. I'm going to take off the A. I'm just going to say Gulf of America.
So America, the first day, not the last day, right? Because that needs to be clarified.
Actually,
we wouldn't want anyone shortchanging what we are
adding the first day onto the end with the accent. America.
That's nice. Yeah, Gulf of America.
Yeah, it becomes, it's like that little
so we'll put a little apostrophe right in front of America. Yeah. We are solving so many life problems right now. It's
motion past.
I mean,
right?
Seriously.
I mean, next.
Seriously. Yeah. It's just that easy. It is. If you want to do do it.
That was easier than picking my picks for next week.
I know you still did. Well, you kind of did.
Okay, no. Obviously, I have to have my Chiefs win. All due respect, Bills. And that's the other thing. I have a lot of Bills.
Well, I know the Bills have beat the Chiefs before. Whatever. Take that.
Honey, we haven't let them do that during the regular season.
I was just going to say, it doesn't even matter.
The dog a bone.
Let's just even say the Commanders have beat the Philly too. I mean, so it has happened.
Do it again, please. I want it to happen. And here's where, number one, I'll probably be in a hole, but if the Chiefs get knocked out, I don't even want to say it. The Chiefs get knocked out, okay, and the Bills have to go. Let's go, Commanders.
Yeah.
Come on. Because here's the thing. If the Bills go and play the Eagles, I got to root for the Bills.
I have to.
I have to root for the Bills.
No one can root for that.
I got friends.
No one can root for the Eagles if they're not
Eagles
Eagles fans. You just can't do it. They're just...
Number one, you don't have Jason Kelce anymore. That was the last thing for me. That was it. That's it. You had Jason Kelce. That's it. Done. We're done. Now we have him, and he dresses like Cousin Eddie on the pre-games, and I love it so much. The fact that his freaking calf is... No, you know what? It was like John Candy.
Yeah,
was that movie with John Candy?
It was like, Caddyshack.
Yeah. But then his jacket was the exact same plaid material. And then he had, for no reason, the mustard colored, what was that, Carhartt?
Yes.
I don't even know. They were like mustard colored.
I don't know
I don't
either.
even think they made it since 1979. Yeah. I'm like, where does he get these?
I think the only thing I could say that would be that I would like for the Eagles is that Saquon Barkley, got dropped by the Giants because they didn't think he was going to be anything, and he has been amazing.
Happy for him.
Amazing.
True. %.
Yeah.
Happy for him.
I'm happy for him, but they're just so rough. I wouldn't even go to an Eagles game at Eagles Stadium because it would terrify me. Or, I mean,
100%.
I would just have to not wear, you'd have to
I
go in
wouldn't
there.
wear my team.
You couldn't.
I wouldn't wear my team at all.
Yeah, I mean, you really couldn't. I mean, they're so brutal. So, but that's fine. It is fine. But it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. This was such a fun. It was such a fun weekend. I mean, all I did was watch football, but it was still such a fun weekend.
I know. I'm actually disappointed there's only 2 other games to watch. Like, obviously excited to get to the end, but then you and I discussed the fact that at the end of the Super Bowl, it's kind of like the Truman Show. You turn it off and you're like, well, now what do we do?
Now what do we do? We say goodbye and a happy tomorrow, right?
And if I don't see you again, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Right.
You nailed it more than I did.
I'll take useless shit for 500, Alex. Why do I know that? That movie is from like 1998.
It's so good, though. It's so good.
I'm going to go home. Think about my life.
Think about your picks.
My picks still. I got to have my beloved Chiefs. I hope.
It's like sacrilegious to say anything else. I'm going to say the Commanders just because I think it's sacrilegious not to. And I'd be so excited if they won.
Oh, you have to. No, and I was going to say, and I prayed in Ricky Bobby to baby Jesus and everything that you guys beat the Eagles because that just needs to happen. So, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, guys.
I guess till next time then, huh?
Always. See you next Tuesday. Although we don't record on Tuesday, so now we can
say see you next Monday. See you next Monday.
All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. As always, please feel free to give us a shout out on our personal socials. If you find us obviously not on the TikTok, we are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Maybe we'll have to get one of those.
We're going to work on the Instagram piece of it.
We're going to work on it.
Probably in February. I'll start getting that going. I have the handles. I just haven't done anything with it, but you know.
And in the meantime, too, again, if you guys have any specific questions or topics that you would like to see us cover, please feel free to shoot us a private message. We are still threatening to bring back the Q&A episode.
I know. Well, if we could stop talking about football for 3 seconds, maybe we could do that. But
y'all are going to have to wait.
It's going to have to wait till after football season. It's going to have to.
You're at least going to have to wait until at least February 17th.
Yeah.
That's right.
There it is.
All right.
There it is.
All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in so much. Bye.